If you have a quarter in your pocket right now, don't spend it. You could be holding a coin worth far more than 25 cents. Some quarters have rare mint errors, incredible grades, or unusual details that can make collectors pay serious money at auction. So check your quarters carefully, because if you find the right one, you could be one of the luckiest people in the world. If you have a 1983 D Washington quarter in your collection, in an old coin jar, or even sitting in a drawer somewhere at home, don't spend it before checking it carefully, because you could be holding a quarter that is worth far more than its face value. And if you have the right example, especially one in an exceptionally high grade, you could be one of the luckiest coin collectors in the world. The 1983 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, and although more than 617 million were produced, truly exceptional examples can be surprisingly difficult to find. PCGS reports a mintage of 617,806,446 coins, with the standard quarter weighing 5.67 grams, measuring 24.30 millimeters, and featuring a reeded edge. It is made of copper and nickel over a pure copper center. At first glance, this may look like an ordinary quarter worth only 25 cents, but 1983 is an interesting year for Washington quarter collectors because high-quality examples are much harder to find than the huge mintage might suggest. The obverse features John Flanagan's famous portrait of George Washington, with Liberty above his head, In God We Trust beside his neck, and the date 1983 below. On the reverse, you will see the large American eagle with its wings spread wide, surrounded by United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. Now turn your attention to the small letter D near Washington's portrait. That D is the Denver Mint mark, and it is one of the first things you should check when identifying this coin. But here is where the story becomes much more interesting. The 1983 D quarter is common in circulated grades, meaning a coin that has been heavily used, scratched, worn, or passed through thousands of hands will generally not be worth a fortune. PCGS explains that examples up to around MS64 could even be found in circulation through careful searching, while MS65 and higher examples are much more likely to come from original bags, rolls, or mint sets. So what should you look for? Start with the overall condition. A valuable example should have strong original luster, sharp details, and very few contact marks. Pay particular attention to Washington's cheek and jaw, the open fields around the portrait, and the eagle on the reverse. Even small scratches can make a major difference when professional graders determine the final grade. And this is where the 1983 D Washington quarter gets exciting. MS66 examples are already difficult to locate, while PCGS states that MS67 examples are really scarce, with fewer than 2 dozen known. That level of scarcity can create intense competition when one of these exceptional coins appears at auction. And we have real auction evidence to prove it. PCGS records an auction result of $1,410 for a 1983 D Washington quarter graded MS67 by PCGS, sold by Heritage Auctions on September 7, 2016. Another PCGS auction record shows an MS67 example selling for $1,057.50 at Heritage Auctions in 2014, while another auction appearance in 2018 reached $1,320. Great Collections has also recorded 1983 D Washington quarter sales ranging from only a few dollars to more than $1,500 depending on grade and condition, showing just how dramatically the value can change when you move from an ordinary circulated coin to an elite certified example. So if you have this coin, don't automatically assume it is worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Most 1983 D quarters are not rare, and an ordinary circulated example can remain close to face value. The real opportunity is finding an unusually well-preserved coin. And there is another important thing you should check: possible mint errors. Look carefully at the lettering, date, rim, edge, eagle, and overall strike. Search for genuine abnormalities such as major off-center strikes, clipped planchets, dramatic die cracks, doubled design elements, or other significant minting errors. But be careful, because not every strange-looking mark is an error. Scratches, damage, machine doubling, stains, and post-mint alterations are often mistaken for valuable errors. If you think you have discovered something unusual, do not clean the coin. Cleaning can permanently damage the surfaces and reduce its collector appeal. Instead, place it in a protective holder and consider getting it examined by a professional grading service. Now, you may have seen videos or online listings claiming that an ordinary 1983D Washington quarter is worth $80,000. But before you believe a huge number like that, remember one simple rule. An asking price is not the same as an auction sale. Reliable auction records show a much more realistic picture. The verified PCGS auction record for this regular 1983D issue is $1,410 for an MS-67 example, not $80,000. That does not make the coin boring. In fact, it makes the hunt even more interesting because you know exactly what you need to search for: extraordinary condition, an authenticated major error, or another genuinely rare characteristic. Imagine finding a quarter that has been sitting unnoticed for decades and discovering that it survived with almost no marks. That is the kind of discovery that makes coin collecting so exciting. So take another look at your 1983D Washington quarter. Check the D mint mark. Check the date. Check the surfaces. Look at Washington's portrait, examine the eagle, inspect the rim, and compare your coin with professionally graded examples. If it looks unusually clean and brilliant, don't spend it until you know what you have. Because while most 1983D quarters are ordinary, a truly exceptional example can bring serious money at auction. And that is why, if you have this coin in amazing condition, you might just be one of the luckiest coin collectors in the world. So before you throw that old quarter into a vending machine or spend it at the store, take a few seconds to inspect it. You never know when a 25-cent coin could turn into a valuable collectible. And if you find a 1983D Washington quarter with an unusual error or an incredibly high grade, tell us about it in the comments. Your discovery could be the next fascinating coin story we feature. Don't forget to subscribe and keep checking your coins, because the next valuable discovery could be hiding in your pocket right now. If you have a 2021D crossing the Delaware quarter in your pocket right now, don't spend it just yet, because you could be looking at one of the most interesting modern quarters released in recent years. And if you happen to have an exceptionally high-grade example or a genuine mint error, you could be one of the luckiest coin collectors in the world. The 2021 D crossing the Delaware quarter was struck at the Denver Mint and carries the famous image of General George Washington leading his troops across the icy Delaware River. The U.S. Mint introduced this design in 2021, and it became the final reverse design of the America the Beautiful Quarters program before the series moved into a new chapter. At first glance, this coin looks like an ordinary 25-cent piece, but collectors know that modern coins can become surprisingly valuable when condition, rarity, and unusual minting characteristics come together. The first thing you should do is check the date. You are looking for 2021. Then look near Washington's portrait for the letter D. That D tells you the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. More than 1 billion 2021 D crossing the Delaware quarters were struck, with Coin Week reporting a mintage of approximately 1,169,400,000 pieces. That enormous mintage means most examples are not rare. A normal circulated coin will usually be worth around its face value, while uncirculated examples can bring a premium depending on their condition and certification. But here is where things get interesting. The standard 2021 D quarter weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures about 24.26 to 24.30 millimeters in diameter, has a thickness of about 1.75 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. It is made with a copper-nickel outer layer bonded to a pure copper core. On the reverse, you can see Washington standing in the boat, pointing his sword forward while his troops make the dangerous nighttime crossing. The words United States of America, e pluribus unum, crossing the Delaware, and quarter dollars surround the design. This dramatic scene gives the coin a strong historical connection, but the real question for collectors is condition. If your 2021 D quarter has scratches, heavy contact marks, discoloration, or signs of circulation, its value is likely to remain modest. But if you discover an example with blazing original luster, sharp details, and almost no marks, things can change quickly. Certified high-grade examples are where this coin becomes particularly interesting. PCGS records an auction result of $995 for a 2021 D crossing the Delaware quarter graded MS-69, sold on March 9, 2022. Another auction archive reports a 2021 D example graded PCGS MS67 selling for $90, while its recorded sales for this coin have ranged from about $7 to $90 in grades 64 through 68. So if you find one in your change, don't immediately assume it is worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Instead, inspect it carefully. Look around the lettering, Washington's portrait, the boat, the sword, and the date. Search for unusual doubling, missing details, off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, or other genuine minting abnormalities. And remember one extremely important rule: never clean your coin. Cleaning can leave permanent scratches and may reduce collector value. If you believe you have a significant error, protect the coin and consider having it examined by a reputable professional grading service. Now, you may have heard claims online that a 2021 D crossing the Delaware quarter can be worth $80,000. Here is the truth. Reliable auction records do not support an $80,000 value for a normal 2021 D quarter. The documented auction record from PCGS is $995 for an MS69 example. That does not mean you should ignore your coin. It means you need to separate genuine auction evidence from exaggerated internet asking prices. A seller can list a coin for $80,000, $100,000, or even more, but an asking price is not the same thing as a completed sale. What matters most is what collectors have actually paid. And that is why auction records are so important when determining the real market value of a coin. So if you have this coin, you could still be one of the luckiest people in the world if you discover an exceptional specimen, especially one with an authenticated mint error or an unusually high grade. Check your 2021 D crossing the Delaware quarters before spending them. Look for the D mint mark, examine the condition, compare your coin with certified examples, and pay close attention to anything that looks unusual. Most will be worth only a small amount above face value, but the right combination of condition and rarity can make a modern quarter surprisingly collectible. So the next time someone hands you a 2021 D quarter as change, don't throw it into your pocket without looking. Turn it over, study the details, and ask yourself, could this be the one? Because sometimes the most exciting discoveries begin with a coin that looks completely ordinary. And if you find a 2021 D crossing the Delaware quarter with an unusual error or an exceptionally high grade, tell us about it in the comments. You might just have a coin worth much more than 25 cents, and you may have discovered something that other collectors would love to see. If you have a Nevada 2006 state quarter sitting in your pocket, your coin collection, or even an old jar at home, stop for a moment and take a closer look, because you could be holding something much more interesting than an ordinary 25-cent coin. In fact, if you have the right example, you may be one of the luckiest coin owners in the world. The Nevada State Quarter was released in 2006 as part of the famous United States 50 State Quarters program. And while millions of these coins were produced, certain high-grade examples, special finishes, proof coins, and unusual errors can attract serious attention from collectors. The United States Mint officially released the Nevada Quarter in January 2006, making it the first state quarter issued that year. So why are collectors interested in this particular quarter, and could one really be worth a shocking amount of money? Let's take a closer look. The reverse of the Nevada Quarter features three symbols strongly connected with the state: a wild Mustang, mountains in the background, and the sun rising over the landscape. The design captures Nevada's famous Western character and its connection to the open desert. On the obverse is the familiar portrait of George Washington, along with the inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and quarter dollar. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary quarter, but collectors know that the smallest details can make a major difference. The standard 2006 Nevada quarter is made from copper nickel-clad material, weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters across, and has a reeded edge. There were also different mint versions, including Philadelphia and Denver circulation strikes, as well as San Francisco proof issues and special satin finish coins. The Philadelphia version had a reported mintage of about 277 million coins, while the Denver version reached approximately 312.8 million. San Francisco produced far fewer proof examples, with about 2.88 million clad proofs. That huge difference in production numbers explains something important. Simply owning a Nevada 2006 quarter does not automatically make it rare. Most circulated examples are worth close to face value. Current NGC information shows ordinary circulated 2006 Nevada quarters generally around 30 to 40 cents, while pristine uncirculated examples can bring considerably more depending on grade. But this is where your search becomes exciting. If your coin has never been heavily circulated, look carefully for strong original luster, sharp details, clean fields, and minimal scratches or contact marks. A coin that looks almost brand new can be dramatically more desirable than one that has spent years moving from pocket to pocket. The mint mark is another detail you should check. Look near the date on the obverse and identify whether you have a P, D, or S mint mark. AP indicates Philadelphia, D indicates Denver, and S generally indicates a San Francisco proof or special issue. Don't assume that a different mint mark automatically means huge money, because condition and variety are extremely important. Some high-grade Nevada quarters have appeared in auction records. For example, Peace GS Records and NGC MS 69 2006 Nevada State Quarter that sold for $145 in an eBay sale recorded in November 2018. NGC's auction information also shows that certified mint state Nevada quarters have brought substantial premiums compared with ordinary circulated coins. And that is exactly why you should never judge your coin only by its face value. Now let's talk about something every collector wants to know. Could this Nevada 2006 quarter be worth $80,000? You may see internet videos and listings claiming enormous prices for ordinary state quarters, but you need to be extremely careful. A normal circulated Nevada 2006 quarter is not currently supported by reliable auction records at an $80,000 level. The documented examples we can verify are dramatically lower. However, an extraordinary coin with a genuinely rare mint error, an exceptional grade, or a unique variety could potentially attract much more attention, especially if multiple serious collectors compete for it at auction. That is where the real excitement begins. If your Nevada quarter has an obvious off-center strike, missing design elements, a major double strike, unusual planchet problem, dramatic die error, or another legitimate minting anomaly, don't clean it and don't damage it trying to inspect it. Place it somewhere safe and consider having it examined by a reputable professional grading service. Remember, a coin's value is determined by what buyers are actually willing to pay, not simply by a number written in an online advertisement. And auction history matters. A genuine auction result provides much stronger evidence than an inflated online asking price. So before you spend your Nevada 2006 quarter, flip it over, check the mint mark, inspect the details, look for unusual errors, and pay special attention to the condition. You might discover that your ordinary-looking quarter is actually a fascinating collectible. And if you happen to find an exceptionally rare example, then yes, you could have a coin that collectors would be very interested in. So if you have this coin, don't rush to spend it. You might be one of the luckiest coin hunters in the world. Check every detail, compare it with certified examples, and if you believe you've discovered something unusual, have it professionally evaluated before believing any enormous price claim. The Nevada 2006 State Quarter proves an important lesson in coin collecting. Rarity is not always obvious, and sometimes the smallest coin in your collection can lead you to a very interesting discovery. So check your pockets, check your old coin jars, and check those forgotten collections, because you never know what might be hiding there. And if you find a Nevada 2006 quarter with an unusual error or an exceptionally high grade, tell us about it in the comments and let us know what you discovered. Don't forget to subscribe, because there are always more coins to check, more varieties to discover, and more fascinating auction records waiting to be uncovered.